Podcast, Episode 3. I'm your host, Shaz, and alongside me today, I've got a special guest, who was also in the last episode. Snips, how you going, mate?
Very good, thanks, brother. Thanks for
Very...
having me on.
That's all good, mate. So it's been a while. It's been a couple months since I've done one of these. Obviously, there's been a lot that's gone on since. We'll talk about that later in the episode. But first of all, I think we'll quickly do a quick rundown of the FIFA season for EGN. So we had three major comps. I'm not counting it like I'm not. This was also my team of the year too. I didn't count any minor comps. So the Sixers draft and that, I didn't count them towards anyone's stats and that. So I'm just counting the three major comps. So you got AVPL Season 19, AVPL Season 20, and Super Series Season 1. So first off, we've got Season 19. This was a shorter season, if I can remember. There was only 20 odd games that were played. How did you think the first season of this FIFA went?
Well, obviously we're in the Div 2 comp
Yeah.
with Caprodu, because half of us didn't have the PS5s. But yeah, I remember, who was it? Someone knocked out the United Kings, was it? Was that season? Yeah, it was.
United Kings. Yeah, that was that season.
United Kings bloody knocked out Football Factory, which is kind of sick. There were a few upsets that season.
Yeah, they beat them 6-2 in the semis.
Yeah,
I
obviously
think
you had the whole Dutchman rundown as well.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say, didn't that United Kings game? Didn't like Football Factory have half a team? Didn't they like
something like that? Yeah.
Yeah, didn't a whole bunch of them leave?
Yeah, I'll quickly get that game up right now.
Yeah, it was
6-2. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I remember that bloody xSnipzz coming out with these wild claims that he's the greatest player.
Yeah, I remember.
On the site.
He still looks back at that time saying, "Oh, I scored 13." I'm only joking.
But yeah, overall I thought it was a decent season. Obviously, Olympus with that incredible grand final win, the comeback.
Yeah,
which is pretty sick. Surprisingly, what you said before as well, Play Nation, I did not realize they got all the way to prelims as well.
Yep.
Season 19, which is kind of sick.
Yeah, for a bunch of players, obviously I play for them now, but for a bunch of players who say they don't sweat in that to make a prelim in season 19 and the grand final in season 20,
Yeah.
That's pretty mad.
Incredible.
Considering they don't sweat the game, or accordingly don't sweat the game. Yeah, so that was a weird season because there was a lot of people that didn't have PlayStation 5s, and it was the first comp that they actually went to PS5, so you did have the championship, and I think the championship was probably the strongest it'd been during that period.
I think it was the best championship.
Yeah.
That's like ever.
For sure, yeah.
Like highest quality.
Yeah, definitely. Well, if you saw, I think it was season 20, Real Genesis ended up coming 9th, so
yeah,
they just missed out on finals in that season, but like, I kind of think it showed the strength of it. Obviously, if we go to the final, Olympus, I'm pretty sure they won in Golden Goal that year, that season, sorry, against Hollywood.
In the grand final,
if I can remember, were up 2-0 and they blew it.
Yeah.
They were up 2-0 and just absolutely shat the bed, which was very unlike Hollywood, to be honest. But that was obviously Olympus's first AVPL. Yeah, I think the season went pretty smoothly, but it was good to see someone other than Hollywood finally win it. They had won it the last couple times, but yeah, I thought it was a pretty good season overall.
It's like I could sort of see Olympus over time improving.
Oh yeah,
you could sort of notice it like in the background a bit, and then I thought, they really did deserve to win that final.
If you look at their start, they lost to QO and they lost to Hollywood 5-0. So
yeah,
they really pulled it around there. And ended up, even in round 17, they lost to Hollywood again 3-0. So like, they ended up kind of pipping them at the end in the most
fairy
important
tale.
game.
Yeah, I'm just looking at Hollywood's games as well. They absolutely dominated the comp.
Oh yeah, I remember like everyone was saying, "Oh, it's going to be another Hollywood year this season." Like,
So who
how
did
they
they
were.
take losses to? They lost to QO, lost to United Kings, drew with Football Factory, lost to Serenity City. Really? Wow.
Really, did they lose this round?
Yeah. So
But
like they did take a few like
L's, but
L's you wouldn't expect, but overall dominated everything. Like
yeah,
comfortable.
for sure, yeah. And
Um, yeah, that's a grand final that they'll look back on,
oh yeah,
which is what you want. You just want to
it
create
kind of
those fairy
changed the
tales.
whole, kind of the like it wasn't just a Hollywood, like anyone could win it, and I think you
Yeah.
saw that again in season 20 where um Hollywood pretty much had a similar side, I'd
Mm.
say, in season 20, maybe minus Bo, but like other than that they had a pretty similar team, and they didn't even make the final that year, so
Yeah.
it kind of showed that you could say this result kind of affected, you know, their results in season 20.
Yeah.
But yeah, after that we had obviously Super Series, season 1.
Yeah.
After I thought, which was a pretty successful first beta season. I thought like only having one of them, I think was maybe right move. Future FIFAs, I think sounds like what Azar's saying is they're gonna have it more than once a year. But
Yeah.
I think personally one a year is fine. But
Yeah.
I just think it goes for way too long. But this season, obviously, we had a couple shocks with obviously our team Wolves. Maybe I'm being a bit biased here, but we did not make finals, and we should have.
There are a few games at the start of the season and towards the middle where you
Oh
look
yeah, it
back and
killed
you go,
us.
how did we lose that?
Yeah,
Or
there was
how
a
did we just
few of them that we should have won, and we were just looking back, and I'm like, what the.
like no offense, but to like Everton, we should have won that game. Um, Norwich we should have won that game. It's like looking back at it, you're like, if we scraped, even though one or two wins, we would have finished sixth. So it's like
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
it was a close comp.
it
Uh,
was. It was very close, and I think
Burnley were the surprising team as well, which is
yeah, Burnley were, weren't they? They came what set? Was it seventh or eighth or something?
seventh.
Yeah,
Yeah,
seventh. Yeah, they were. They were. I remember them being pretty decent when we played
and
them. I think.
obviously you got the whatever team Nailers in West Ham,
No, yeah, West Ham.
just
Yeah, I was just gonna
absolutely
mention
dominating.
that
So I want to have a look at their team. Like,
their team was like it was
uh,
pretty much like that West Ham team. You could see what the flaws of the comp were with
yeah,
the whole value system with Naylor. Obviously, I think he mentioned it in a thread a couple weeks ago, saying foot players like he pretty much dobbed himself in, saying where we know the top foot players and they're
yeah.
going to be 3 mil. I think Foot Hamza, for example, was 3. Who else was
You got Lonzo at 5.
Lonzo at
May
5? Like, I mean, some of his values are a bit off, to
Mateo
be
at
honest.
6 as well.
But
Like,
I just wanted to
great.
highlight Foot Hamza because he's a quality player,
Yeah.
and for 3 million was a bit, how you going? But
Like you look at their attack as well. Mark and Naylor both combined 75 goals, and assists. What's that? 60, 71 assists
yeah,
combined.
that's
Like
that's fucked, really.
total like 150 goals and assists in one season. Like
Yeah, it's
in
pretty fucked up.
crazy. It's like wow. You look at
That
some of their results, like 9-1, 5-0, 4-1, 8-0, 6-3. It's like
it show
constant
it
results.
show
Yeah.
it, but it also shows the imbalance of I guess the weakness of Super Series is the balance between the teams.
Yeah.
You clearly know who's going to be the top teams, and then you know who's going to be the bottom. Like it's like
Mhm.
the balance is a bit off. While with not Super Series, AVPL, for example, you just don't know some of the time who's gonna
Mm,
win it, and
exactly.
I think that's why there was an uproar recently with Azar's original plans to scrap AVPL. I
Yeah.
think the whole like the balance between the teams and that like kind of where it's not like it's competitive, but it's like
You
against
know, you know who the top two teams are.
yeah, against some teams, those top teams when they verse the bottom, it's just not competitive for them.
I'm
So
gonna be real though. Like, I honestly do side with Hollywood and Olympus here. Like, if you're good at the game, you shouldn't be punished. Like, if
yeah,
you got mates that are good at the game, fuck, like fair enough. Like, you're good at the game, you're gonna win. Like, you deserve it.
yeah,
If you want to be good at the game, you practice, you play. You know, you get out there, you fucking sorry for swearing. You put
no,
your
no, I
you
don't
put the
care.
work in. You put the work in. You know, and then
Yeah.
you got Naylor and stuff. Obviously, it's like they do it for. I don't. Do they do it for jobs and stuff, or is it
Yeah, well,
just like
what's it called? They're all part of pro FIFA teams, or Naylor,
yeah,
Mark, and
yeah,
Matt. I think Mark and Mike J went to a comp in London earlier in the
yeah? So
year and
like
made the final.
obviously
So
they're doing it as like
a job.
work.
It's pretty much a
Yeah,
job for them. So
pretty
like,
much. So it's like if they want to play clubs win in a good team, like fair enough. Like they should be allowed to. Like I don't really.
yeah,
Obviously, we're gonna sit there and get pumped by them. It's like that's you just got to expect that. It's like if you want to, be the best, you have to compete with them. It's like,
yeah, yeah, 100% agree.
obviously, you still get a few results. Like you look at, for example, the Surrender the City before they beat Hollywood. Like it
Yeah,
happens. It does happen. It's like, but you can't be sitting there when you're not the best at the game expecting to get a win against Hollywood. It's like, they're good at the game. They deserve it. Fair enough. Like
yeah,
that's how it should be, and I agree with that.
yeah.
That's
No,
why the Super Series as
100%.
well, where it's like they're going out and signing the foot sweats. Like fair enough, they're bringing more people to the
Mm,
site as well, which
yeah,
overall like increases the population of the site. More money for Azar, you could say.
yeah,
Um, yeah, like I really don't see a problem in why there's complaining about it.
yeah.
Like I'm totally with them, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I full on agree with you there. Like, they deserve to be like, up the top, and if they want to bring all these players in, if they like, you know, they kind of deserve that. So
Yeah,
yeah, no,
100%.
I totally agree with you, but I think the it was still close, but like the top four teams in that comp was still pretty close if
Yeah,
I can remember. Especially Chelsea and West Ham, and
yeah.
Spurs were pretty competitive. I remember
Those were up
their
there.
bus being a bit of a problem.
Yeah.
Their, I
It was
think
that Walsh and stuff, wasn't it?
yeah, that was Walsh and all that. I'm pretty sure if you go back to, I'll quickly go to where is it stats. Yeah, they ended up having 23 clean sheets. So
And
it was
they
the
they
bus.
beat
It was
they beat West Ham in the series, like in the season as well, 1-0.
yeah. And like, if you go to where was it prelim, they only lost to West Ham 3-2 also. But even like you had Chelsea who beat Arsenal, but that was close. And I remember Arsenal didn't even have a full 11. They had an AI keeper for that whole final series, and
That's
they were
right.
playing Pappy, who's a keeper at wing, and Mezzi, who's also a keeper at CB. So to get to the that's what, because that Arsenal team is pretty much Play Nation. To
Yeah,
get to
practically.
through two prelims and a final for a team that, let's be honest, there's some people that joke about them, but like they obviously bring results in.
Like I don't want to say anything that'll. I'm not saying they're bad players or anything, but like they're not amazing, but they're just a good team. Like they
Yeah,
all
no,
work
like
together. They all like, yeah, it's incredible.
I can say that like playing with them like rival sessions and that, like they're like individual as players, they're like not the greatest players, but they know that, but they work as a team, like just
100%.
like, and that, like, I feel like that's all you need in pro clubs. You
Mm.
could have a mediocre, not mediocre, but like a decent team who just works really well at a team. They're going to be a team that's got 11 foot sweats but can't play together.
Exactly.
Like,
100%.
yeah. So I think they've done really good this whole. I just wanted to mention that, but obviously the grand final we had Chelsea and West Ham. This was I commentated on this on Madman stream, but this was like the most insane final I've like seen. Like, it was stupid. If I'll quickly bring it up. Where we got so mad. Yeah, but I remember that
one where it went through 3 games.
Yeah. So that was
Yeah,
that was one that went 3 games, and
Yeah.
I'll just quickly put it up like that. But it went 3 games, and it took until the 94th minute or something. Let alone West Ham also had 2 people drop out in that third game, 2 centre backs. So Naylor was controlling 2 CBs, AICBs, and he scored with an AICB in the 94th minute. It was one of the most insane finals I'd seen in a while. Probably up there with season 17, you could say, in terms of drama. In terms of like the drama in a grand final. But yeah, that I think that just showed how good both of those teams were, and how they were just clearly the 2 top teams, and the rest were a bit, you could clearly say.
100%.
But wait, I just want to quickly show that goal again, because where was it? It was and I remember that third game. It was crazy because there was so many chances where people should have scored, and it just wasn't going in the back of the net, and it was just crazy. Here it is. So I think, was it? I don't know if it was later or Kank's AI, but yeah, Naylor somehow scores with the AICB to win that grand final. That's crazy. Anyways, but I think that was. I felt like that was a good comp. I still think, even though the final was like one of the best ones I've seen, I think the beta season was still a little bit better, just because it was a fresh comp, But I still 100%. Think season 1 was still a decent comp. And then finally we had season 20. So this was a season where everyone had a whole bunch of teams just like team up, like old teams that teamed up.
Sewer Rats.
Yeah, we had the Sewer Rats. Who else did we have? We had
Black Label,
West Norwood. Yeah, Black Label. Yeah, Sol Invictus. Whole bunch of these old, the Generals, like old EGN teams, pretty much coming back together for what everyone thought was going to be the final comp of EGN. And I thought it was, competition-wise, it probably wasn't the greatest AVPL season.
Yeah.
Because, again, it was the two top teams and then everyone else, pretty much. Because you had Hollywood on 87 points, Olympus on 80, and then third was the Generals, who had 64. So
you could tell the top 2.
Yeah, you could tell after the first couple of weeks who the top 2 was gonna be. But I still think it was a pretty decent comp. You had
the battle from 4th to 8th was incredible until I think probably the last match day.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. You had
I remember we were struggling. We were going from. We were dropping to 9th, then going up to 4th, then dropping to 6th. We were all over the shop.
You could say even third, because we had Sewer Rats had 63, the Generals had 64, and then QO, Nation, and West Norwood were all separated by 4 points. So you could go from anywhere from 3rd to 7th in a game after a 1 game night. It was just crazy. I feel it made the comp better, even though you had the 2 top teams and they were going to make the grand final. But I feel like that fight for 3rd and 4th was also another battle which was really kind of interesting to see. And even the fight for finals too, that last 8th spot, you had Genesis and Oz Finest. Oz Finest missed out by goal difference.
I
Obviously,
remember there was a bit of beef going on in the Oz Finest chat.
yeah.
So, who was it? It might have been Kank or something like that. I don't know. I just saw them in their chat beefing. I was like, what's going on? I think that was like their downfall.
Yeah.
If you look at their last 6,
Oh,
they
yeah,
took
they
4 losses.
buckled. They had 4 losses, while all they needed was 1 point out of a draw, and they would have made it.
But you look at the results, like, they had to play Olympus, Hollywood, and QO. So it's like, fair enough on those losses, but beat Jens, beat Firm. Trying to see what... Yeah, like, they lost to Amateur Boys, you know, it's like...
Yeah, I mean...
Like, those results, in the end, like, stuffed them up.
Oh, yeah, no, those type of results, if you're fighting for an 8th position, will end up fucking you over by the end of the comp. And you saw that. And also, Genesis, like... I remember that they were pretty much in the 8th for a lot of that season, and they just
were comfortable for a bit.
They were comfortable there for a bit, but at the end, I think they just
they fell.
They fell a bit at the end. They
who'd they lose to? They lost to Scary Man last round. That's
last round, Scary Man.
That's wow.
Like, I think that just shows if you're not beating Scary Man. No disrespect to them. They also know that they're not good either. But if you're losing to them last round, you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot. Yeah. And obviously the Hounds, they kind of pounced on both Oz Finest and Genesis mistakes by
like
just...
The Hounds' last 6 games, they dominated. Wow. Like,
yeah,
because I remember they were like completely out of top 8. Like, it looked like they were gone, but...
But, I mean, they did have an easy run, to be fair to them. They had a pretty easy run at the end.
They did.
Versing Amateur Boys, Black Label, All Brothers. But, like, that game against Oz Finest, pretty much, that was a big game for them.
It was a 6-pointer.
I think that would have been the second last night.
Yeah.
And, obviously, they just, after that, they had a big draw against Nation. So, all they had to do was really... just do what they were supposed to do for the rest of the games, and which they did. It was a shame at the end, but how their team kind of folded there at the end.
Pretty much, yeah.
What was it? Like, wasn't there a dispute over?
It was. I think Shammery wanted to start Kiri Payne over,
like Gillard or something, wasn't it? It was one of those guys. Those good. Like, very good players that he wanted to start. Like, no disrespect to Kiri Payne, but he's no Gillard or whoever it was. I think it was one of their top players, and...
I'm pretty sure it was Brumo.
Was it Brumo? Yeah. Like,
I think so.
Kiri Payne's no Brumo, so, like...
Yeah.
I don't know why the fuck you would decide that at, finals time.
Finals, yeah, exactly.
You kind of... And, as soon as you drop one of them... The whole team, like half that team's dropping out. So, and in the end, you could see the final score between QO and Hounds. You saw the effect of that 9-2.
Like, you look at the other results as well. Obviously, we took the L to Hollywood. That was like expected. Nation beating West Norwood.
Yeah, I think our team was a big surprise. Like, I mean, I was expecting maybe 8th, 7th, but
I was expecting like push, just make the top 8. Like, just.
Like, if you look at
I was expecting us to be Hounds pretty much. Like, I was expecting that type of season.
If you look at our team, like we had like, I think what helped us was a lot of us had played together before, so that kind of helped a little bit. But then we even had some new guys come in, like Chris, Wallace. That was huge for us, and
Wallace was incredible.
Chris and Wallace as a DM duo, like, underrated. Like, no one even knew about these guys. Like, well, people knew about Wallace, but like, both of them were like playing as top tier kind of CDMs, and they dominated there. I felt for us.
Wallace as well. He was on mic. He was just like, bloody. I wonder who he's playing for next season. Like, someone's got to pick him up. Like, actually, I did not
Yeah.
expect that. Like, same as Chris as well. Very
Oh,
good
Chris, bro. And the thing
defensively.
with Chris is he can play anywhere. I remember he was in our Super Series team, and we played him as a wing, and he kept saying to us, "I'm a better DM,"
Yeah,
and we were just like, "But you're so good. Like, you do the job at wing too." We didn't
yeah,
really give him a chance at DM, but um, yeah, he was outstanding that season too. And then we had but the rest of the players we'd all played with, so like,
Like, if you, let's have a look at the team. Like, so obviously you and goal,
yeah.
like Cod as well. Very surprising. He was very
Oh,
good.
Cod, yeah, Cod was very good. He obviously um he kind of came up during the Super Series. He was one of those
Yeah,
new players, but he was really good for us. That whole defense really, we had
great
at the end I
defense.
think we have Spence, Cod, and Stan, was it at the end?
Yeah, Spence, Cod, Stan. Then we had Demo on the
Hmm.
wing, I think.
Yeah.
And then I moved up. I don't know how, but I was top scorer. Like,
we
what?
to be honest, we should have played you striker that whole season. When you were playing striker, I just didn't agree.
Like,
Like,
let's be real. That's how you know your team is wank when I'm at striker. It's like,
yeah, it's just our attack was a bit how you going, but
like when you got Lemononsky and fucking TTV Snipes, you're like, oh,
yeah,
they had their games that they were very good, but overall, like especially
it's
finals,
it's not a top tier attack you want. Let's be honest.
yeah,
It's but but like I think like those kind of surprises also kind of I don't know, it made it more exciting. Like seeing a team
yeah,
like the Rats or even the Generals. Like, I mean, they all played. Like a lot of them had played together, but like
yeah.
they were also thrown together really late. Like it was
You
a
have
really, you know,
Con, Jules, Walsh, like a few of those boys just coming in.
a lot of
Who
them
else?
just were thrown together a week before comp, and to get third, I thought was pretty impressive. Like,
Yeah, that's what you
especially,
get with the
you
Gen
know, they have to deal with Munt, so.
So true.
Uh, yeah,
Yeah, let's
but
have a look at the finals prelims. This is the talking point. Play Nation taking
yeah,
down
we have to
Hollywood.
talk about that. That was one of the most surprising results I've ever seen on my time on this site. Like, it was crazy. I don't know how the fuck they did it. And the toxic banter afterwards was just top tier. I think where is it? Kyle put up a thread. Where is it? It was um yeah, Hollywood choke back to back AVPLs. You can take the man out of the empire, but you can't take the empire out of the man. Like,
God.
just uh
Let's
just
go.
absolute just toxic. And like that thread I remember just absolutely went crazy. 153 comments. And Fardy was on fire. That he just him and Kyle were just going at each other. It was
There's a
hilarious to
lot of
watch.
beef that season.
Oh yeah, the
Like
beef
you had
was like
Demo
on another
Fardy, you
level.
had it was mainly Demo at the brunt of it all, but
Yeah.
Demo Fardy, Demo that smoky bloke, you know, Bombo Fardy as well.
But
That
yeah, I
was
know.
around that time. Like there was a lot of beef going on that comp, which made it exciting.
I think that's what kind of made the site a bit more exciting because we'd gone through a period before that where everything was boring, people getting banned for just like little stuff, and because of the the possible shutdown of the site, seemed like
Everyone
the
just yeah.
admins kind of didn't take stuff as seriously, and I thought like I just personally like the banter, like the
Yeah.
toxic banter. I think it's funny. I think it adds something to the comp. um but yeah, and then obviously Play Nation beat Olympus. Not Play Nation, sorry, Olympus beat Play Nation mid grand final.
I'm going to be real. I didn't watch the final. Like, was it close at all,
Nah,
or was
not really. Not it wasn't really close, that final.
yeah,
I
What does
think,
Marcos put in the chat? Like, oh, like you look at the game thread and he's just got this emoji, which just
yeah,
like
yeah,
go
it's
the game thread.
interesting, interesting there from
Oh,
Marcos, but
God, freak.
yeah, it wasn't really close. I think the whole final was summed up by at the end. What's it called? Missing an open goal. Uh, what's his name?
Oh.
Fletch. He missed an open goal and it got clipped and yeah. But I think
Fletch, I wonder where he's. Is he playing next FIFA? Is he
Fletch.
still going, or
Well,
do you know?
hopefully.
Yeah,
He's the arguably the goat of the site. So
yeah. You'd say that. You'd have to.
him or Naylor, you could argue.
I think. Oh yeah, it's hard, but
It's hard. Recently,
I know.
Naylor. You could definitely make the
Oh,
argument for Naylor.
100%. Yeah,
But
100%.
obviously, that
Overall,
Azuri,
like in the
you can
past,
never, yeah, you can never
throughout the-
look back. You know, that Azuri run back in FIFA 18, I think it was, just FIFA 19 was stupid. So, but
yeah, very-
obviously they were the three comps. I think next FIFA, going into next FIFA, I'd like there to be maybe even split of comp. Like I would like probably to see one more extra Super Series comp, just because
yeah.
there was a lot of empty times, kind of in this FIFA where we had no comps at all. So
Yeah.
to have one
That's,
extra,
that's one thing I'd like is for the comps to sort of link up a bit more.
yeah,
Obviously, not telling like the admins what to do and all that, but like if it needs to sort of flow, keep the site just like alive.
oh
Like,
yeah, no,
there's two
100%.
periods where it's just rivals. It's sort of like, oh, okay, but like, um, it's good. It's good when it's like, even though I hate these comps, but like the sixes comps, for example, like you could have AVPL into just a short sixes comp,
Yeah,
like I don't know, 2 week break, and then back into like Super Series or
Super
something.
Series, yeah,
Obviously, it's a lot of work, but
it's
now that we're investing money, $3 premium,
yeah,
on the side, it's sort of like let's get the ball rolling,
yeah.
um, sort of make sure every comp links up to each other, keep it just exciting, keep it
Keep it fresh and
100%.
exciting constantly. No, I wouldn't like just like always having something to do, and I think that was a problem with this FIFA. We had so many down like where it was pretty much just rivals and that was it. like
Yeah.
like we haven't.
Obviously, Rivals is incredible. Probably the best thing about pro clubs. I'd honestly say that it's one of the
Oh
best things
yeah,
about pro
it's
clubs.
one of the what Carney was able to do with obviously the API and all that, and
Yeah.
to somehow like do what he did with that whole thing and create rivals was one of the best things they'd done in this site. And I think without rivals, it's just not the same, And I
It's
think
a
we
bit
saw
like,
that with
yeah.
the start of the year when, what was it, EA changed the API or something, and
Yeah.
Sam had to change it, and it took him a couple months.
Like even this FIFA, like I wonder how long it'll take to get Rivals up and running.
I don't think it should be that long because I think it's a existing one from last year, so
Yeah.
it won't take as long. Might
That's
take a
good.
month or so, but I
Yeah.
don't think it'll be that long.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
All right, let's take a look at this post, eh? Azar.
oh yeah. So the Azar post. Might as well considering we're talking about, rivals and all that. So pretty much he stated in it that his original post said that it wasn't at EGN's interest to have AVPL as a comp
That's the
anymore.
one thing where everyone blew up about.
Everyone blew up. And as you can see, well, you had over 100 comments, and it
Like,
was.
I understand what Azar.
Oh
is
no, I
trying to
totally
do.
understand what he's trying to do. You invest in something, you want to try and bring the money in, and by
100%,
gaining
yeah.
sponsorships, that's a good way of bringing money in. And I do agree where he says the Super Series based on, already set Premier League sides, it's more enticing for sponsors to come
100%.
in. So
Yeah,
I do
100%.
agree with him with that. I just
But at
don't
the
think.
same time, like without AVPL, EGN's not EGN. Like when you
Yeah,
think about EGN, you think about like,
AVPL.
oh,
You
I
think
remember season
teams like
bloody, I don't
Hollywood,
know,
teams like
Hollywood, El Diablo, like,
El
you
Diablo,
know,
Azuri. You think of these teams when you think of EGN, and without it, I think you just, I don't know. I think the site dies, to be
like
honest.
you could
But
honestly say that EGN is like built upon memories and nostalgia, and like, you know,
yeah,
everyone's like, oh, remember when El Diablo did that? You know, it's like, oh, those were the good days. You know, it's like that's AVPL is sort of just, how do I say it? Like, is the name of EGN. You could almost say, like, when you think of EGN, you're like,
yeah,
oh, AVPL. I want to get my mates together. I want to play AVPL. You know, like, we're gonna do trash. Let's go in Div 2. You know,
yeah,
let's, you know, it's like that's what it's sort of about. And with Super Series, you don't really get that. You don't really get the sort of like, sounds cringy, but you don't really get like that family club feeling. It's
yeah.
like
No, because you a lot. It's just built teams around a salary cap. Like, yeah, you
100%, yeah,
still got a couple players playing with their mates, but due to, especially the top teams, due to them being too expensive or whatever, a lot of those players have to pick up plays that they don't know. And like, obviously you've seen players like Lonzo and that, you know,
yeah,
succeed from that. But yeah, I just think without and I think Madman's post too, kind of like someone who always supports like what this like what EGN does. Big fan of the site, but he
yeah,
even he said it was a bit of a bad decision.
yeah.
Um,
But you know, one thing I do respect about Azari, like he took it like a champ and sort of
oh yeah, no, hundred
or what the
percent.
community wanted. Like that's what you want. That is what you want.
I
Like
love how he took the criticism
100%. Like
and said, okay, maybe this isn't a great decision. We'll bring it back. You know, I think doing that, you know, I think just shows that he's willing to take criticism. Where in
mm,
previously, you could argue the last couple years that EGN taking criticism wasn't their, you know, thing. But
yeah, like, I agree with you to an extent as well because of, but the thing is the way the community like words some things and like some of the people like that, instead of giving criticism, they're sort of just hating at the site.
hating, yeah. But I
Yeah,
think there's also times where that happens, causes them to be angry, the admins and that,
yeah,
and then there's someone who actually brings in a good statement, and then they just shut it down. They used to shut it down, but
yeah, 100%,
I think
100%.
now, like, as seeing Azar taking the criticism, you and bringing it in is just like just sat fit, like, you know, because he knew he ended up seeing the community's dislike about the decision and ended
Yeah,
up, you know, going back from what he said, so
yeah,
bringing it back in. So I thought that was a good decision. And I think having him as I like having him as the top guy. Like, already
yeah,
seeing like he's already got a set future of what he wants the site to be,
yeah.
and even though people have to pay, I don't think it's that bad. $3.
$3, yeah,
You
it's
bring in
nothing.
prize money too. Like, teams are gonna
Yeah,
get prize money now for winning the comps.
yeah,
Yeah. I think it's like when we saw Dynamite briefly take it over. They said about their plans, but they didn't really tell the community at all. Azar's pretty much told his plan from day one. So
I'm very surprised as wasn't involved earlier. Like that's what
yeah,
he's because obviously they're brothers. I was like, surely he'd
and
be
I know
involved a lot
Azar
sooner.
loved the site too. So
Yeah,
I that also took me a bit by surprise. But having him wanting to keep it alive, I think is a good thing. So
yeah, 100%.
yeah. Just finally, I'll leave the best thing for last. The EGN Team of the Year for
Ooh,
um yeah, for FIFA 20, the Community Team of the Year. Obviously, I did not pick
yeah,
these players. It was community pick. Well, I did pick the players, obviously, who were in the vote, but the community did pick who they wanted. to see in this team of the year. So I'll just bring it up.
Here we go.
Here we go. So EGN team of the year. So the 12th man who, I mean, he got a lot of votes, but because he was in a kind of a in the striker position where it was pretty much Mark and Naylor, it was hard for him to compete, but he still got heaps of votes. Ended up getting the 12th man, and that was Zayty. Zayty, especially in season 20, was insane. He ended up receiving 36.1% of the vote. I think he ended up getting 44 or something like that votes overall.
You look at Olympus's team as well, and he is monumental for them. Like,
oh yeah, especially last season, he was stupid. I mean,
I remember versing Olympus, and I was like, what is, like, it was physically like impossible to defend him half the time. It felt like,
yeah,
he's
it was
such a good player. I reckon he's one of the most underrated players. Like, obviously he's not underrated because he's in the team this season, but like, I'd honestly have him up there with like Mark and Naylor, like to an extent.
Yeah,
I'd have him like right up there.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, he scored 42 goals in season 20. I mean, like, and if you look at his overall, he got 62 goals and 30 assists in 51 games played through the 3 major comps. Like, those are stupid stats, and he ended up getting also a golden boot in season 20. So,
wow.
Yeah, and won 2 AVPLs for Olympus. So, yeah,
incredible. What a FIFA for Olympus, though. By the way.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, right? What we got next? We got Zayt. Oh, not Zayt. Sorry. Madman. I think this was one of the most, like, the biggest landslides in terms of a vote.
It's like, who did you have with him?
So we had Pappy, Arshiv, and Meb.
So obviously Madman's like the top of the.
Yeah, Madman ended up getting, what was it, 60.8% of the vote overall.
Wow.
So clearly number one.
Yeah.
He ended up with a clean sheet percentage of 58%. So 58% of his games he was getting a clean sheet.
That is ridiculous.
And he ended up winning 2 Golden Gloves in season 19 and 20, a Silver Glove in Super Series season 1, and Team of Season in season 20. So, just a dominant year for Madman, and deserve the
like when you think of goalkeeper on the site, you think of Madman, just not because of his ability, but obviously, you know, his YouTube. He started doing that stream I was watching for a bit. Like his AVPL, like he's really keeping the site flourishing, and like with new people coming to it, new people getting into pro clubs, like just incredible.
Yeah,
you'd almost say like an ambassador for the site. Like, just...
and like you could say he's the face when it comes to all the media and that in terms of FIFA, for EGN, sorry. And
100%.
I think, but not only because he's like good at what he does, but he's also a really good player. And I just think it's deserved. Ended up getting 15 badges this FIFA too, so I mean,
decent,
very good. So the next 3, the CBs were all tied in like the vote, so they all got 45.5% of the vote. So you had Kotzi. He played the least amount of games out of everyone. I think he missed out on Super Series, but he ended up getting 2 AVPLs. And he won a silver brick wall in season 19. But that I'll quickly just go over the other 2 first, and then I'll just wrap all 3 of them up. We have Kotzi 2. His brother, Kotzi's brother, 86 played, 52 clean sheets. He ended up with 2 AVPL wins, 2 gold brick walls, season 19 and season 20, a silver brick wall in Super Series Season 1, and 2 Team of the Seasons in Season 19 and Season 20. So,
Wow.
yeah, I think he was the best centre-back this FIFA. He
Yeah,
wasn't even
I agree.
close to.
I agree.
Yeah, he was insane this FIFA. And then finally we have
This one
Bambi.
surprised me.
What, sorry?
Yeah. This one surprised me. I was trying to think, like, who the third centre-back could be.
Yeah, it's
And I
it's
forgot
Bambi. Yeah. Bambi
Who
got...
did he play for?
He played for
Razzle?
Olympus. He also played for Olympus. So it's pretty much
Did he play?
Olympus
Oh,
back
okay.
three
He played
that
for
got it.
Olympus.
Olympus back three got Team of the Seasons. Team of the
Oh,
Year,
yeah.
sorry. Team of the Year.
Okay, no, I agree then. I agree.
Yeah,
I for a second, I didn't think he played for Olympus. No, he does.
No,
yeah.
he does.
Yeah.
70 games played, 39 clean sheets. He ended up with a silver brick wall in Season 20 and also a Team of the Season in Season 20. So,
Yeah, right, deserved, yeah.
But
Plus,
I
you're
think...
winning 2 AVPLs.
What, sorry?
Like, you're winning 2 AVPLs as well. Like,
Yeah. I mean, if you've got the same back three and you win 2 straight AVPLs, I think all of them deserve it to be in there, to be honest. Now for the CDMs. So first one, Madrista. Again, playing for Olympus.
both Olympus.
Both Olympus. He didn't win any individual badges this FIFA, but I think his consistency and kind of him being a pocket got him in here. And I think he's also widely regarded as one of the best DMs the site has seen, so it's kind of deserved that he's in here. He ended up getting the top vote. He was a top vote getter for the DM position with 55.6% of the vote. So obviously the community thought he was in there, and I agree with them, to be honest. I think he was class this year, so just a little bit surprising he didn't get an individual badge. But yeah. Anyway,
I think because the golden balls, like, I'm not sure. I think like Brumo and stuff would have taken them out. Like in the other seasons.
You mean the
what's it called? The ball winner one, yeah.
Yeah. I'm guessing they did. I mean, Soldier Killer's up next. He won 1 silver ball winner in Season 19.
Okay, yeah, 'cause I don't think Olympus's DMs are like, they're very like playmaker style. From what I've seen, I could be totally wrong, but from what I've seen, like, they get on the ball, they get the ball moving. They're not really like, you wouldn't say they're
constant pockets. You know, they're not like, they are pockets,
all-round
but like
players.
They're not like the top tier kind of pocket kind of type of DM. They're more of a they can do everything.
Exactly, all rounder. Yeah,
like more all round, and I think the vote shows that. I mean, I had in there players like Gillard, Brumo, and that. These guys won not even close. So Soldier won 50.4% of the vote. So
how much was it Madrid?
55.6.
Yeah. Okay.
So because he picked 2, so picked 2 DMs, so they were 2, and I think the next was like, if I can remember correctly, it was like 30-something%. So it wasn't even close, really.
Wow.
Yeah. So next up is
wingers.
Next up is Geordie, Brio, if I can get it up. No. Wait, no, Turk, sorry. Oh, well, we'll go to Geordie Brio first. Because I've read his name off my notes. So Geordie ended up winning 52.6% of the vote. He won he got 2 runners up, with Hollywood in Season 19 and Chelsea in Season 1 of Super Series. He won a golden boot in Season 19, a silver boot in Super Series 1, bronze dishmarcher in Super Series 1, and a bronze ball in Super Series 1. So again, another pretty good year for Geordie.
Amazing.
Yeah, obviously I think an AVPL would have topped all that off, but it wasn't to be in terms of winning at AVPL this season. But again, another top class year there for Geordie. And then we got Turk, who he gained 62.1% of the vote.
Wow.
Obviously won a AVPL title with Olympus.
Yep.
He won just one of those in Season 20. Won a bronze boot in Season 20, a silver Dishmaster in Season 20, and a silver boot in Season 20. So he pretty much dominated Season 20 in terms of the awards and that. I think, how many goals did he... I think he scored 30... What was it? Like 33 goals, I think?
So he's an out-and-out
And
winger, isn't he?
26 assists or something in Season 20. It was something stupid. But yeah, he's a winger.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, he was very good. And I think the next closest... Who was the next closest in terms of wingers? It was... I forget. But it wasn't... It wasn't, like, even close. Again, it was pretty... Yeah, not that close at all. Next, Cam. I think another guarantee of who was going to get in. It's Draven. I think he was by far the best Cam in this FIFA. There wasn't many.
You look at his stats, though. Like, I'm looking at it here. 92 games played, 12 goals, 28 assists. Like,
it's not,
it's not a lot. Like,
a lot, but I think that just shows
how
that the Cam position was a bit weak this FIFA.
It wasn't. You wouldn't say weak. It's more like it wouldn't get involved as much as it used to.
Yeah, you could say that.
Like every other FIFA, the Cam was like on the ball constantly. This FIFA, you sort of found like I felt DMs took a lot more control as well in a lot of aspects of the game.
Yeah.
Wingers were like vital, crucial.
Wingers and
like,
SCs,
you look at a lot of the goals.
Yeah.
A lot of the goals come from wingers as well. Like,
yeah.
I'd say almost half. Like, majority from strikers, obviously, but then there are a few instances where it's like wingers, like depending on how the game's going as well. Like, you might need to utilize your wingers one game more.
Yeah.
You know, like they were like monumental to success this FIFA. I found wingers, and the cams were like, obviously you need the good cam, but they weren't really reaping in the stats. It was more.
I think what helped Draven was not only, he's like, because he didn't get, the most dominant stats, but especially where you probably compare him to the other two vote getters that kind of, not it really came close, but Bombo, who got 28% of the vote, and Fardy, who got 20.
Bombo got more than Fardy.
Yeah, Bombo got more than Fardy. Yeah. But I think what helped Draven was his leadership, you could say. Leading Olympus as manager to 2 AVPL titles helped his case a bit.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're winning 2 AVPLs, you're doing something right.
Yeah. Like, and obviously he's found, the recipe to success. So I think that was deserved, to be honest, at Cam. Yeah. Great player.
He's actually a really good bloke as well. Yeah.
Really good person, as I've heard. I've never spoken to him, but I've heard he's a great bloke. And yeah. Strikers. I think it's a given who's going to get the 2 striker spots. I'll just go off first. So we got Mark, 11, 75 games played, 98 goals, 40 assists. He also managed alongside Naylor to win Super Series Season 1. He was runner-up in Season 19, got a golden boot in Super Series Season 1, a silver boot in Season 20, and 2 bronze balls in Season 20 and Super Series 1. I mean, it's a bit stupid, let's be honest.
And obviously, the second striker is TTV Snipes.
Yes, it is.
TTV for his heroics against United.
His heroics against Hollywood, where we got a draw. Nah. But Mark, he was great. I think, but it's kind of what you expect from him too. He's clearly top tier striker, top 2 definitely.
And going back on, I know this is far back, but going back on the Azar post about the they're going to implement like a comp for was it pros?
Yeah,
or like
I saw that.
Players.
Yeah.
I think that would be incredible to see. Like
Oh yeah,
All the
100%.
because you see them dominating this, and it's like, yeah, because obviously, you're up against like the likes of, people who just play for fun, or people
Yeah,
who are who sweat it but just aren't that good, or
yeah,
you see all that, and these guys like the top of the top. So I think that comp will be incredible. Like, even just by a standby watching point of view, it's like that's what EGN needs, and it'll really show like the top against the top in pro clubs. Like,
yeah,
imagine every third or fourth week you're seeing Olympus come up against Hollywood. It's like
yeah. I know. It'd be
that's
great
sort of what you want.
viewing. Be good for
Yeah,
viewing.
that is what you want. So yeah, I thought I'd just touch up on that.
Yeah, nah.
Oh,
Well, might as well considering we're talking about the two top players, at
yeah,
striker. So, and then obviously striker two, no surprise, Naylor, 88 games played. Wasn't his most dominant in terms of goal scoring. He was more of a setting up people type of player this FIFA, but he got 53 goals, 112 assists.
112. God,
112, yeah, that
that is
quite a
ridiculous.
lot. He ended up gaining 65.6% of the vote, and I'll quickly say
Yeah.
Mark got 54.1%. I don't know if I mentioned it before, but yeah, it was pretty
So was
dominant.
anyone close, or was it?
I think the next closest was, who was it? Veach, I think. But yeah,
Yeah.
no, it wasn't. It wasn't really close at all. Oh
Yeah.
no, sorry, it was Zadie. Zadie was third. He ended
That's
up
right.
getting 12th man, but yeah, I think next after that was Veach. So it wasn't really that close. There was
Yeah.
maybe it was a bit close between Zadie and that, but even then, Zadie would have needed a lot, like still a few votes to even get close to him. But Naylor got 65.6% of the vote. Again, he managed with Mark to a Super Series Season 1 win with West Ham over Chelsea.
Yeah.
Runner up in Season 19, got 3 Golden Dish Masters. So he just, in terms of Dish Masters, he got every single one of them.
Wow.
Season 19, Season 20, and Super Series Season 1. He got 2 Golden Balls in Season 20 and Super Series Season 1, and 1 Silver Ball in Season 19. So
Yeah.
just dominant, really.
You
It
look at
just
that
shows
for a
his quality
striker,
too.
112 assists. Like, you can see that's their style. Just that one more, you hear it like one more, one more.
One more,
Naylor
yeah.
just absolutely
The
crushed it.
triple sweat. Like, yeah, but
No, that's awesome.
I think it
Yeah.
just typifies how they play, and
Yeah.
yeah, and I think like seeing Mark get 100 goals and Naylor getting 112 assists just shows how they play.
Yeah.
So yeah, congratulations to everyone who made it. Obviously you won't earn a badge. Sorry. You won't earn a badge, but it's more like kind of, I guess, for
Well,
your
who
ego.
the community, who the community thinks is like the top of the top,
Yeah,
which is
so your ego's probably taking a bit of a boost at the moment, but yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
joke
they've already
aside,
got
congratulations to everyone.
they've already got their egos, but it's like a deserved ego.
Yeah,
So
it's a deserved ego. It's a
yeah,
deserved ego boost, to be honest. All of them, I think not one of those votes was really that close. So it's everyone
yeah,
knew who the top 11 was. So this FIFA. So
yeah,
yeah, congratulations to everyone. And this, yeah, I'll post the whole team. What, an hour after this goes up live. So
yeah.
yeah, congrats to everyone who won. And I think, if I'm mistaken, I think that's everything we need to talk about.
Pretty much wraps it up.
Yeah, I think
FIFA
that
23
wraps it
is
up.
here.
Yeah, FIFA 23 is here. How do you like it so far, mate? The game, play wise.
I don't mind it.
Yeah.
I personally, obviously, like, remember the parties before, and everyone's saying the defending is difficult. I find the defending like a lot easier.
I find it easier too, to be
Like,
honest. I
it's sort
think,
of just a jockey, and they
yeah,
will run into you, or it's like,
I like it because
yeah,
you need a little bit more skill to defend this year. No auto blocks, so I mean, we'll see how that affects who the top players
yeah,
will be, I guess, without auto blocks. But
yeah,
I still think it's pretty easy to defend, to be honest.
100%.
I think the gameplay's a bit off and on for me. Some, like, yesterday it felt like shit. like first 8 came out, felt good. I don't know, it just felt a bit
Yeah.
inconsistent. I still think it feels better than last FIFA. So
I think it's just going to take us time to get used to it. And obviously, everyone's going to start playing clubs, level up their pros. Once
yeah,
Rivals comes out, teams sort of start forming and find, the new metas, the way to play as a team,
yeah,
you could say as well. So yeah, I think overall it's going to be a good year, and
yeah.
I'm
No,
excited
definitely.
for it. Yeah,
I am too. Just want to thank you for coming on today, mate.
no
Um,
problem. I
there,
appreciate you
yeah,
letting me
no,
on.
definitely. Probably won't be a 3 month wait for the next podcast episode, like the gap between this one and episode 2. But yeah, that wraps it up pretty much. Thanks for watching, guys, and yeah, see you, I guess, on the pitch.